Imagine taking your kids on a family hike down a beautiful forest trail, birds chirping, sunlight filtering through leaves only, for the scene to transform into something from your worst nightmare. Your spouse brutally stabbed, and your children running for their lives. That's what happened at Devil's Den State Park, Arkansas. But then investigators uncovered a shocking connection. The DNA of the suspect may link him not just to this horror, but to another cold case in a different state. Tonight on Digital Dread, we unravel the chilling truth behind the Devil's Den killings and ask, could Arkansas have its first serial killer? Subscribe and hit the bell. This story is just beginning. Welcome to Digital Dread, where we dive deep into the world's darkest mysteries with no face, only story. If that's your kind of escape, hit like and subscribe now, and join a community of true crime fans who never settle for surface-level explanations. On a crisp January morning in 2025, the tranquility of Devil's Den State Park just outside the town of West Fork was shattered. A family had gone hiking, mother, father, and their two young kids. In a wooded clearing, the parents were found dead, stabbed so violently they barely had time to react. Their children escaped, running terrified down the trail until a park ranger found them sobbing and covered in blood. The scene, once peaceful and cheerful, turned instantly into a grim crime scene. Blood droplets led through trees, children's shoes scattered, and parents' bodies discovered at different points. One clasped in a fallen tree, the other on the forest floor. Authorities locked the trail down. Residents in nearby Fayetteville were stunned. This had never happened here before. Within 48 hours of the murders, investigators identified a suspect, Andrew James McGann, a 54-year-old former elementary school teacher from a nearby town. Publicly, he had no criminal record. He was well-liked in the community, quietly reserved, but forensic evidence linked him. DNA found under the victim's fingernails, on the hiking trail, and inside his vehicle. He was arrested while getting a haircut at a local salon, calmly reading a magazine. His expression gave nothing away. Soon after, authorities revealed they had also tied his DNA to a 2020 cold case in Wisconsin, another brutal killing of a lone hiker in remote woods. The idea that one man could be responsible for two horrifying murders across states shook the nation. Let's pause and define serial killer. Typically, someone who commits 3 or more murders over more than a month, usually driven by psychological motives. With just 2 known cases, McGann doesn't technically fit, but DNA evidence linking him to another killing suggests a possible third or more. Investigators are combing through cold cases in neighboring states now, particularly ones involving hikers or park visitors. Is it possible there are more victims we haven't linked yet? If so, this might be just the tip of a murderous iceberg. Bullet your thoughts in the comments. Do you think McGann acted alone? Or is there a hidden pattern waiting to be discovered? Let's remember who the victims were. Clinton and Marisol Benton were in their mid-30s, teachers themselves, taking a rare day off to spend time with their children and enjoy Arkansas's scenic beauty. The kids, aged 6 and 8, witnessed the attack. Psychologists are now working with the children, who are reportedly traumatized but responsive to therapy. There's a community fundraiser for their recovery and an outpouring of support. The sense of loss goes beyond just the victim's passing. The community lost a sense of safety in a place once considered a sanctuary. This is where true crime gets personal, and it's why I'm here, and you're watching, because every victim deserves a voice, and every story deserves to be heard. Investigators describe the crime scene as surreal. No sign of robbery, no weapon left behind, just a trail of blood across the park. Forensic teams collected soil samples, DNA swabs, fibers, even pollen from McGann's vehicle. Tracking through his backyard revealed nothing overt, but his social media feeds contained odd, cryptic posts about forest ghosts and hunters of truth in the months before the murders. Law enforcement is analyzing surveillance cameras near park entrances and exits. They're also interviewing locals about any suspicious activities, late-night visitors, license plates seen, anything that feels off. The deeper they dig, the more they realize this might have been planned, not spontaneous. That's chilling. The cold case in Wisconsin came to light when McGann's DNA matched samples taken from Ethan McClure, found murdered in 2020 along a hiking trail near Green Bay. The similarities are frightening. Both victims were lone hikers, attacked brutally and left in isolated woods. In that case, the attacker wasn't caught and evidence faded. Now, with a suspect in custody, authorities are reawakening that case, exhuming evidence, interviewing witnesses again, and reviewing DNA samples with advanced tech. If McGann is found responsible, this will be one of those rare but terrifying patterns that reveal how far violence can hide before someone decides enough is enough. McGann's history is unremarkable. Teacher, married, no prior violence. But sources tell me he had recently applied for positions in private security firms, had oddly inconsistent travel records, and was spotted hiking the Devil's Den trails multiple times, often secretly recording audio. His family described him as a quiet thinker, someone who liked to observe. Some speculate financial stress pushed him over the edge. Others note his interest in podcasts about famous untold murders. Did he study these crimes and try to outdo them? Or was there something deeper at play, perhaps an undiagnosed psychological condition? These are all questions investigators are asking, and they may hold the key to understanding the why. Small towns and state parks aren't always equipped for homicide investigations, especially not ones involving DNA. Devil's Den has limited surveillance, few patrols at night, and forensic calls are often outsourced to state labs. That gap gives predators cover, especially visitors who vanish without a trace. Authorities are now calling for better park surveillance, emergency phones, and license plate readers at trailheads. Public safety activists argue it's time to treat parks like towns when it comes to crime prevention. Since the story broke, social media has blown up. True crime forums are flooded with speculation. People are comparing McGann to the Unabomber, to Edmund Kemper, even to the Golden State Killer. News networks are running features with experts discussing why these isolated areas become crime scenes and what it reveals about state of policing. Families of victims in other unsolved hiking murders are reaching out, terrified that their cases now connect to a known suspect. The ripple effect is real and everyone is watching. This is where you come in. What do you think happened? Was this man a desperate individual snapped by stress, or a calculated predator who planned multiple crimes? Could there be more victims, undiscovered in other forests? Comment your thoughts. Some theories could help shed light on new clues we don't yet know about. Thank you for watching Digital Dread. If this deep dive into the Devil's Den killings captured your attention, hit that like button and share it with a true crime friend who needs to know this story. Don't forget to subscribe for more face-free, fearless investigations into the darkest mysteries. We're following this case closely. Stay tuned for updates, and remember, for every shadow in the woods, there's a truth waiting to be uncovered. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and stay subscribed.